Afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming to Deb Chanel's 48 Squirrel with Visual Show. Yes, that's my new TV show now. It's a channel, but I call it the Deb Chanel's 48 Squirrel Visual Show. Okay, we basically give commentary off screen. Sometimes we get on screen, just depending on how I'm feeling at the time. But for the most part, we do it off screen, and I give you my visuals. So that's where the visual show comes in, because it is a show that I'm pretty much giving you a lot of information verbally, and then I'm giving you visuals to go along with it, so you can pretty much be in the scene of things and have a perspective to be made or opinion to be suggested at the end. Okay, but anyway, I just want to thank you for coming to my channel, subscribing to my channel, liking and sharing my videos, disliking, however you want to get down when you come to my show. But basically, we're going to be talking about R. Kelly. We all know social media has been running rampant with a lot of different vloggers, a lot of different YouTubers, telling the story of how they perceive R. Kelly to be deemed in the media these days, especially when they're saying he's being like a pedophile or of young women underage. When I say underage, I'm meaning that still have that teen relationship to their age. Like anything from 13 to 19 are considered to be babies. You know what I'm saying? So that's in my my eyes of viewing things anyway when it comes to the younger generation. And then to me, unless you're in your own house doing your own thing, you're still not grown. Okay? But most part, the law deem you at 18, you can get a felony and so forth and be seen as an adult and tried as an adult. However, we as parents or, single moms or single dads, we look at our children once they get out of our house as grown. Okay? And pretty much after they hit 24, we need to see them doing something outside of the family dynamics. You know what I'm saying? Most people do. Most people keep the children at home. Just depends on how you see things or how they're doing, educational wise and money wise, because you don't want to send them out there and then they come back 6 months later talking about, I had to move back because times are rough. You get my drill? Let them have 100K in the bank or close to it so they can stay out your house once they get out. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on. I picked up an article on Jezebel.com. That's spelled Jezebel.com. They go in to give us commentary, or Anna Merlin has written up some juice, which I'm sure you already heard. It's just going to be me adding a little bit more to that mix that already been served. It's just like coming back for seconds. That's what I'm giving you. So this article is titled "A Woman in R. Kelly's Inner Circle Describes Sexual Coercion and Control." It's like Stockholm Syndrome. Pretty much Stockholm Syndrome is basically a brainwashing type technique that manipulators use on, I would say, not well-rounded, open-minded individuals. Okay? So if you want to know the definition of it or a little bit more about Stockholm Syndrome, Google it. Stockholm is spelled Stockholm syndrome, Syndrome. All right, do your education, do your due diligence, find out what I'm talking about. Okay, but anyway, like I said, this article was written, by Anna Merlin, and she works for Jezebel.com publications. So she goes on to say, singer R. Kelly claimed to have raised one of his teenage sexual, it says conscripts, since the age of 14 or 15. I want to say conquest, but it ain't my story. This is what she wrote. Sexual conscripts. Don't know if it's a typo error, but that's what's in her commentary or her article she wrote for her news publication. Okay, according to a sometime member of his entourage who spoke to Jezebel about life inside the singer's inner circle, the woman confirmed detail published this week in a disturbing BuzzFeed story telling Jezebel that Kelly has 5 or 6 women whom he subjects to constant physical, sexual, and psychological control on a routinely recording sexual encounters and subjecting his partners to bizarre cult-like behavior restrictions. Okay, they're all above the age of consent, meaning they got to be 18 or more in age. The woman told us that Two of the women are 18 and 19, while others are in their early to mid 20s. Technically, she said they can leave, but it was like witnessing Stockholm Syndrome. All these girls are so nice and trusting and young. The BuzzFeed story was written by veteran Chicago reporter Jim DeRogatis, DeRogast, who's been covering Kelly's alleged sexual misconduct against teens for nearly 20 years now. The Rogastis, oh, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Dero Goddess. Maybe it's Dero Goddess. Derogatis. Okay. Received a videotape in 2001 from an anonymous source of Kelly having sex with an underage girl. Kelly was eventually tried on charges of manufacturing child pornography, not rape, but was acquitted in 2008. Kelly has also settled at least four lawsuits allegedly sexual misconduct, include women who have accused him of having sex with them while they were underage. An attorney named Susan Logans told the Rock, what we're gonna call him Mr. D or Miss D, she has settled numerous other suits out of court of behalf of alleged victims. Okay. According to Mr. D's latest story, the parents of young women who are involved with Kelly believe that he's holding them against their will and preventing them from talking to their families. Former girlfriends of Kelly's told Mr. D that the singer requires his girlfriends to dress in track suits to hide their figures, film his sexual encounters with them, and shows the videos to his friends, and takes their phones to keep them from communicating with their loved ones, replacing them with new cell phones they can only use with his permission to contact people he approves. Through a representative, Kelly denied the allegations. Now, of course he would. Okay, who wouldn't? That would put their behinds, in jail or in the hot water of the law. That's just my sidebar, not in this commentary. His attorney, Linda Minshik, told several outlets Mr. Robert Kelly is both alarmed and disturbed by the recent revelations attributed to him, adding Mr. Kelly unequivocally denies such allegations or accusations and will work diligently and forcibly to pursue his accusers and clear his name. In an interview with TMZ, one of Kelly's girlfriends, a 21-year-old woman named Jocelyn Savage. Now, it's strange in this paragraph she said one of his girlfriends. I'm thinking, it's your friend. She's just calling, or he calling her his girlfriend in that tone, or he just really running around here with a lot of girlfriends, and he just, almost like a little pimp. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Everybody sharing. What do you call it? RKelly. Nobody really has him because he's just floating between different women. They okay with it. That right there is a form of brainwashing because in my day, and my day still today, we don't share men. We either have them or we don't. Okay? But either way, it's a one-on-one relationship. Unless, I mean, all parties are told up front. You have these trysts, monogamous, I'm not monogamous, menage a trois, when you got three people and engaging in sex, or, maybe a whole number swingers, they just swing with the people that are married as well as single people. Y'all just have this group thing going on, you know, very disturbing, but people do get down like that, called swingers. But anyway, where they share their significant other, their spouse, whatever it is, they want to perform sexual acts on or with. So, again, that's my sidebar, not including her commentary. We get right back to it. She says she had a meeting and talking with a 21-year-old woman named Jocelyn Savage. She denies she was a hostage or in a cult and said she has chosen to speak with her family. Well, she has chosen not to speak with her family. She declines to say where she was living, if she lived with roommates, or if she was free to go. She tells this TMZ. I wouldn't speak on that. I'm like, wait a minute now. If you're so free, you so what do you call it? Footloose and fancy free, and you just come and go as you are. Why you can't tell nobody where you at? Why you can't let them locate you? Okay, it's just mind control mentality at its best. That's my sidebar. That's my piece. Not written in her commentary or her article. There we go. Excuse me. We see Mr. Minshik did respond to two phone calls and two emails from Jezebel seeking comment. In her place, a spokesperson named Trivian Kuti returned our call, responding to the allegations that Kelly spoke of raising a sexual partner from the time she was 14, she told us. I think these things have to be proven. This is very strange, unbeknownst the allegations to us, and there will be no way I could comment on it. It's irrelevant. We don't know who you're talking about. This is just an allegation. Coochie denied that any of Kelly's current sexual partners were underage when he began dating them. This is a crew of adults here. There are no children, no underage anything. I never witnessed it. Cootie denied that any of these women are kept against their will. I wonder if this is the den mother they were talking about. The woman's supposed to be 30 years old, and she's pretty much raising them, guiding them, giving them instructions from R. Kelly himself. I don't know. That's just my sidebar. Again, we'll get back to her article right now. It says, I've known Mr. Kelly since 2005. What I will say is anyone who is involved with Mr. Kelly is free to come and go and communicate and eat and sleep when and where and how they please. It's very sad. It's a very sad situation where it comes to a point where people are being deemed captive or enslaved when they truly are free human beings. Mr. Kelly is an upstanding human being, and it's very saddening that these allegations are being orchestrated. Okay, Kim Jezebel was holding the woman's real name and some details of her identity to protect her privacy. Told us that she first met Kelly at one of his concerts roughly 1 year ago, where she was invited on stage and then to an after party. That night he slipped her number. That night Kelly slipped her his number and told her, "Baby girl, I want you." The next day, they met up at a hotel where he was staying and had sex in his tour bus. Kim said, Kim said Kelly paused their lovemaking long enough to ask her, "Baby girl, how old are you?" Afterwards, he put her number into all three of his iPhones and told her he wanted to see her again soon. She provided screenshots of text messages said she said were between her and Kelly's assistant, Diana Copeland, as well as a few between her and Kelly. Although she said he's basically illiterate and prefers phone calls and FaceTime. Wow, what I mean, he can't read or write. Well, I don't understand that. Come here, literally, but he make all this beautiful music. I don't understand that one. That's my sidebar, not included in her article. Okay, then we have Anne prefers phone calls and FaceTime. She also showed Jezebel travel itineraries for the trip she took to see him, hotel receipts, and a photo she took of the singer asleep on a hotel couch. The itineraries and receipts match up with both Kelly's tours histories and travel documented on Kim's Instagram account. Then it shows a picture of him laying on the couch and somebody covered up in a sheet, not showing her face or her hands or anything, pretty much. Just some legs that's wrapped up in a white sheet with a glass of wine and cell phones everywhere. Okay. Then we have, where the articles continue. When I called the number Kim provided for Copeland. Copeland identified herself before saying, "I don't want to talk to any reporters," and hanging up. She didn't respond to several subsequent text messages other than to ask, "What does her claims have to do with me?" Kim said that was over the course of the past year. She flew to see Kelly about 10 times, either in his hometown of Chicago, where she said she and other women were put up at the whole Homewood Suites by Hilton on Grand Avenue, or in cities where he was on tour. She said she had met with Kelly as recently as this summer. Okay, Kim, who's in her mid-20s, told Jezebel that she was like having sex with powerful men and enjoyed partying with Kelly and his crew. "I knew what I was getting myself into," she said. The other girls around Kelly, however, seemed a little bit more starstruck to her and appeared to depend on the singer's approval. "All these girls just dote on him," she said. "It's so effed up. They're completely manipulated and brainwashed." Kim wasn't aware that the other women lived with him, she said, until reading the BuzzFeed story. Had been under the impression that all of them were free to come and go the way she was. She would go back to her hotel after her tryst with Kelly and his crew. Dang, she got down with Kelly and the crew. Whole material to me. That's my sidebar, not in this commentary. Okay. Then it said then fly home to her life and career. Her phone was never taken, and she was never asked to sign any kind of non-disclosure agreement. She was different in other ways too. She wasn't in the music business, and so wasn't reliant on promises of career help from Kelly. She declined the MDMA that she says was constantly and on offer. She was a few years older than most of the women, and she was white, where the other women were mostly black. Kim quickly recognized, though, that Kelly was very controlling. When we were out, we're not allowed to look at anyone, she said. We have to keep our heads down. If we're back in his studio, sitting on couches, and he has friends across the room at the bar, we can't look at each other or communicate with each other. The girls are also instructed to tell on each other, she said. If we're in a Uber, that means a private person's car or whatnot, and we can't chat up the driver, and we chat up the driver, we're supposed to tell him, this girl did this or that. He's very controlling and manipulative. He likes to be in control. The women are all instructed to call Kelly daddy at all times, she said, while he refers to them as his babies. Okay. I wonder why that's probably why Andrea left his second wife. So Aaliyah was his first wife, but Aaliyah's parents got that shit annulled. Okay. Anyway, that's my commentary, not in the article. She goes on to say the women can't enter a room without knocking 3 times and waiting for permission to enter. They also have to ask permission to leave, she said. Kelly also forbids the girls to compliment each other on their dresses, Kim said, because that's too close to complimenting them on their figures. One day, she recalled they were at lunch sitting at a sidewalk table outside. A woman walked by and whose Kim dress admired, or Kim admired a dress she saw a lady in the street in. Um, it goes on to say, I was looking at her and he kicked my chair because I was looking up. Just super possessive. It's a strange kind of dynamic. A strange kind of dynamic. The women also strictly kept from knowing too much about each other. Kim says we're not allowed to talk about anything. We can compliment shoes or nails or nail polish or make small talk about the weather, but we can't talk about any personal details. Kim said that she's never witnessed Kelly force himself sexual on any of the girls, but that his control over them is absolute. All right. He never makes threats, she said, but the girls are so eager to do whatever he wants. He'll wake us up out of a dead sleep and say to this girl, suck penis, or to these two girls kiss on each other. And immediately, without thought, they just jump right to it. It's just bizarre. It's unlike anything I've seen before, honestly. It's not non-consensual, I guess, she added, but I don't know if they even realize the situation that there is some wrong in it. There is, or their end is wrong. What they're in are women. Realize that the situation they are in is wrong. Um, It says Kim said that Kelly has at least 3 iPads filled with footage of both his daily life and sexual encounters. He records everything, absolutely everything. She said, including the two of them having sex. A lot of times he doesn't have sex with the girls. He just likes to watch them on each other and records them. Also, Kim also said that she's never seen any violence whatsoever, although the BuzzFeed story alleges that he slapped one woman with an open hand for being too friendly to a subway employee. But she vividly remembers a bizarre punishment of one of the girls a 19-year-old was subjected to when she didn't perform sexually in the way Kelly expected. Kim said that she and the girl were instructed by Kelly to take off their clothes and act like you miss each other. He got out his iPad and started filming, she said, but was dissatisfied by the 19-year-old's performance. He told Kim to sit on the couch and took the 19-year-old into another room. 20 minutes later, he called Kim in. Kim knocked in the proper way, then walked in to find the young girl nude, except for one of Kelly's bigger pieces of jewelry, a heavy chain. He also he had his iPad recording, and she was naked except for a big chain, and she was running laps from one end of the room to the other. Can't remember. She was running laps around the room and apologizing. She kept saying, "I've been bad. I'm sorry, Daddy." Shit like that. And I'm standing there, and she starts apologizing to me. Kim said she told her it was all right, but Kelly cut her off. The younger girl continued in tears. She said, telling her, "I know I have to do what Daddy says. I have to act like I miss you more." I wasn't getting into it. Trevor included Kelly's spokesperson responded to Jezebel questions about whether Mr. Kelly records his sexual encounters by telling us, "How would I know that? I'm not sexually involved with Mr. Kelly." Then Kim said that Kelly's clear favorite among the women she saw is one who turned 18 around December. She's apparently been with him since he was 14, since she was 14 or 15. He was telling me that he raised her. Those were his words. While BuzzFeed does describe one 18-year-old from Florida as Kelly's number one girl. Mr. D reported that she was 17 when she met Kelly, and none of the other women in the BuzzFeed report appeared to have met Kelly at age 15 or younger. Asked for more information about the 18-year-old and whether she believed her to be the same number one girl mentioned by D, Kim said she couldn't be sure who D was describing and that Kelly didn't allow the girls to discuss their personal lives with one another. Kim spoke freely and at length for close to an hour, but it did seem curious that while she seemed self-aware and independent, she was still comfortable with a situation where she was subjected to such bizarre restrictions and methods of control. I've been a massive R. Kelly fan for as long as I can remember, she says. Since I was little, I've always loved his music. And the lifestyle, I guess, is really cool being brought up on stage, being paid attention to. She always felt out of place in his entourage, she says. I would just look around at certain points like, "Are you effing kidding me?" Kim explained that until she read the BuzzFeed story, she regarded the situation as bizarre and slightly disturbing, but she had no idea that other women weren't speaking to their families, that they were dropping out of college, and that their loved ones were desperately worried. That's horrific to me, she said flatly. They have no way to get in contact with them. If something happens to these girls, they're not going to know, and that doesn't sit right with me. Kim told me that she understood Kelly would probably be able to identify her from what she had told me. She doesn't plan to ever fly back to visit him again. She says, after all this, absolutely not. She's really effed up, she said, laughing softly. She's gotten off for so long, it's time. Or he's gotten off for so long, it's time. And that was pretty much it. That was from Anna Merlin at Jezebel.com. She wrote this piece. And then you have a few people giving their own opinions about everything that she wrote in her article for Jezebel.com. And I don't think I want to say I had watched some video where R. Kelly had said straight out of his mouth. I forgot what it was. I might update you. Excuse me. The article that I'm talking about, or the video that I watched, where I want to say he was being interviewed by Tom Basin, but I'm really not sure. Don't quote me on it. Where he was telling the interviewer that he had been molested from, I think, 7 to 14 or 15 years of age by a family member. So I'm not saying that he's still right in the situation if this alleged situation he's gotten himself into with these young women and him holding them hostage, as they're saying in the social media as well as on TV, social media outlets, that he's doing all these things, and they're gonna, they did welfare checks on the girls, and I guess it could have been in here in Georgia, somewhere in not Jonesboro, but Alpharetta or Johns Creek, I think it was, which is a rich type of neighborhood of affluent people, or affluent, I should say, individual. Louis got money, and he got land because we're in Georgia. That's all we got: dirt, clay, and made of clay, pretty much, look like clay, heat and land. And we have so many different rural areas, but we also have the capability of putting up these mansion $300,000 and $400,000 homes. That, of course, when you're living up north, you make a hell of a lot more money than living in the south. So they bring all that revenue down here, and they can get a nice piece of land. You know what I'm saying? Where they can actually have their privacy, where nobody is disturbing any ill will acts on individuals, and we would know about it. You know what I'm saying? So basically, all I can say, R. Kelly do make very, very good music. I've definitely bought a lot of his CDs. I don't have them now, but that's just me because I'm growing older. I'm getting a little wiser, and I watch a lot of the lyrics that come in around this music industry or machine that's being put out to us, and half the stuff just don't make no sense or what they're singing. Because everybody usually like a good beat to a music and a good hook, and you just go with it. You don't necessarily know verbatim what the lyrics are. And sometimes you may be singing something that's totally not actually being said in the music until you actually go up and pull up the lyrics. And you be like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Uh, but I don't know. I just say pray for these girls to, because it seems like he is targeting women that he can't control. Some of them want to be and desire to be in the music industry. Although countless of people have told them the music industry is so shady. Certain things you don't want to do, that they require you to do. You get passed up for many, many compensational type opportunities. It's almost like you have to go independent to be able to make the type of music you want to make and how you want to sing it, and the lyrics are on point. But when you work for companies or organizations or institutions, they require a certain thing, a certain protocol, a certain way they want things structured. And if you don't tend to toe the line, they can't. You want to step outside that line, that sheep herd mentality. That's when you're gonna start getting some slaps on the hands, and they're gonna try to make you be this bad person. So I don't know if it's something, R. Kelly just, he just had a fetish of, or, somebody did him wrong and he's pretty much doing other people wrong. He's following suit to what he know, what was exposed to him. And so he's whipping it on other people. And Stockholm syndrome is very well known in the medical community. It's been proven that pretty much a person can manipulate you, especially if they depend on you and what you can offer them. So that's not far fetched. But like I said, prayers go up to the family members that have to go through this nonsense with children that want to be in the industry and willing to take and do anything to succeed in the industry, and they don't really know until it's too late. But hopefully these women can get to their senses and they're not being held against uh, they're against their will, and they are free thinkers and they can come and go, do and choose what they feel like they need to do that best supports them. So with that said, y'all give me y'all comments. Y'all spin. Hope y'all like my visuals. This beautiful man going crazy pretty much. If he is messing with underage women. Because he's damn near 50, I believe. Finna turn 50. And, he's dating women 19 and stuff like that. I'm like, you can't find a woman that's up there at in your league. I mean, what her name? Drea Kelly. I think her name is Andrea. Know what her maiden name was, but she left him about a couple of years ago of some strange things going on, and him just not being faithful and having this fetish of loving younger women. So I don't know. I don't know, y'all. So I just thought I'd give y'all my take on what I thought about it and somebody else's take at Jezebel.com and see if we can come to a meeting on the minds. It's just what is R. Kelly doing out there? But like I said, if they can find any concrete evidence, nothing that's manufactured, put them in jail because that's where you need to go. You don't need to be messing up no person's mind just because you want them to do something and you feel it's right when it's not. So everything that's done in the dark shall come out to light, just like they accused what name Bill Cosby, and look what he's doing. And all this really didn't come around to the time he was trying to buy, I think it was NBC or some network, news network, and they just didn't want to see a brother come up. You know what I'm saying? So they started whooping some, issues on him where they started making problems for him in the media. So, and then you got Usher running around now, passing around herpes to people. And that's not allegedly. He does have it. Documents have been proven to be legit, as well as cash payouts. That they look like a check to me. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. But we all gotta be careful. Gotta be careful about these young people being lured to or promised to have lucrative careers in the music industry, and then they're not actually. I mean, he is called the Pied Piper. Anybody don't know what that is? Please look it up. Pretty much just a mythical creature who goes around and lures younger people away from their parents to do harm to them or mesmerize them and get them to do what they want them to do, which is another form of manipulation. So, I mean, if a man called himself the Pied Piper, you know. Ooh, it's almost like you're telling on yourself through subliminals. But it is what it is. Y'all have a beautiful weekend. Don't forget to like and share all of my videos that you do watch. If you haven't become a subscriber at this time, please subscribe to me. Or my channel, I should say, Deb Snell's 48 World Visual Show. Okay? And like my videos. I always want you to like my videos. And that's pretty much it. I think, y'all. Okay, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all soon about something. I think I'll come back with the Kevin Hart story. If I don't get it done today, it'll probably be tomorrow. Okay, before the afternoon. Peace and blessings, guys. Bye-bye.